So I just watched Tron 2, which is a sequel that came out like 30 years after the original. It seems to be a theme for this franchise because the new one that's coming out is what, like 10 years after the second one. Like the original, it's about a guy that gets sucked up into the computer world of programs and forced to fight gladiatorial games in them. This time it's the son of the guy who did it last time. And he's like trying to find his father in the computer world. That's the premise. So the original was made in 1982, and Tron 2 is a 2010 movie. You would think such a big divide would be indicative of like production issues, and yet I'd say it's a shockingly good sequel. It pays homage to the original without being a rehash of it, and it expanded upon some of the ideas in a very natural way. I also like the way they honored those characters. Like Tron and Alan and Flynn, they felt like extensions of who they were before. They felt kind of epic, and I appreciate the philosophy of respecting the characters of the original and treating them like they're cool, which was something that's kind of fell out of fashion in later years where it's like, oh no, we need to break down our heroes and make them like weak and pathetic. And they don't do that. They have, you know, Flynn needing to regain his hope and his faith and stuff, but as a character, he still feels like, yeah, like when he walks into that room, there's like a scene where he walks into, I don't know, like a program club. I don't know how to explain that. But the way it's done, he looks epic, and like they turns down all the lights. It's so fan. It feels very fan servicey, but in a pleasant, brief way that was like, yeah, that's right. I love it. I love it. The protagonist worked fine, but the standout was Cora. She was such a delight, very charming and charismatic. She was just such a lovable character, and I think she breathed a lot of life into that story and the character dynamics in it. The graphics worked, and I think for the same reason that the original graphics worked, in that they had a very specific vision and they committed to its aesthetic and what their vision was with the graphics that they had. So, in the 1982 one, you you could argue that those graphics are bad, but they achieved the aesthetic and the look they were going for. They weren't trying to be realistic. They weren't trying to look like the real world. They were trying to look like that world. And I think a similar thing happened with the sequel where it looks very different. Like it looks very sleek and very clean and is very indicative of the graphics and CGI of the time where things looked like too clean and pristine, so it didn't look real. But that doesn't matter for the concept of Tron. Tron is in a computer program. It's not real. It doesn't have to look real, so it doesn't actually break your suspension of disbelief when the graphics are that clean. So, in a similar way as the first one, I think it chose an aesthetic which was an extension of the 1982 aesthetic, but different, updated for that time, and committed to it, and it looks really good. I love the way it looks, and was very believable. It achieved its vision with the graphics of the time perfectly, except two things. One is the random free fall fight near the end of the movie that didn't look right. It didn't look right at all. Two, young Jeff Bridges, because they, CGI'd his face to make him look younger, which worked fine for Clue because he's a program, and so him having an uncanny valley face actually worked really well for that character. But when they're doing backstory scenes with young Jeff Bridges, no. No, no, no. That did not look right. I wish they kind of avoided his face, maybe have it They could have done something because it just did not look right. Nope, nope, nope. Does not work. And they knew that because they very deliberately didn't show Tron's face in uh in the movie. I mean, Tron is in it for like 8 seconds, but it was smart to not show his face. They went with like, oh, he's has his head covering mask thing the whole movie, so they don't have to try to de-age the actor, right? So and lead into that uncanny valley weirdness that they had with Flynn and Clue. I liked that approach. The only thing I didn't like was how much untapped potential was in that concept. I mean, you have a like corrupted Tron and you use him for like 8 seconds and you don't let Flynn have like a face-to-face confrontation with him. I mean, what are you doing? I'm not asking to take the face mask off. I understand that Uncanny Valley, keep the face mask on. That's fine. But they should physically share the same space. And instead of like you had like a plain dog fight in as the climax for that character, and emotionally I think that was such a wrong choice because that could have been epic and it just felt kind of like, oh well, the movie's called Tron, we better put Tron in it. So here's Tron. And I'm like, no, we needed more Tron for that. I'm sorry. That was such a wasted potential. Oh my goodness. But besides that, I actually like the story. I think it really built on the topics and the ideas of the original, and it sets up what I think is happening in Ares. Now that I watch this, I'm like, oh, so the Ares concept is an extension of what they introduced in the second one. Like, I'm glad I saw this before watching Ares because now I know like the context for this movie that I'm about to see. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to that. If you want to be informed when I upload a review of that, do subscribe. Also, a new chapter of Bone Song, Diary of a Sentient Sword, is out. That's my book. I release a chapter for free twice a week in the link below. Happy reading and take care.